Hello everyone, welcome back to the React.js course. In this video, we are going to continue where we left off last time. So in the last video, we talked about how to initiate a conversation between the client, which is a React app, and the server, our Node.js server. Okay, so we said that our server is running on port 3002, and we had a specific endpoint, which is even. So you can think about it as a door, and the whole door is 3002, so we know where the server is, but we need a key, okay, to enter the door. So it's the endpoint, so you cannot enter the door, or you cannot use the server without an endpoint. So that is where we introduced in the index.js the endpoint, so that we had this function, and we said that we had two variables, the rec and the res. The rec is the request that we get from the client, and res that we are going to discuss today. And the server did some computations to see if the number that we're sending from the back from the front end to the back end is even or odd. Okay, so and we use fetch to do so. Okay, so today we are going to have a back and forth conversation between the client and the server. What does back and forth conversation mean? Last time we only sent something to the server, and the server did some computation and only kept the result to itself, and he did not gave us a back response on the result of the fetch. Okay, so today we are going to get the result back, the response back, if you want, from the server. Okay. So first of all, we are going to go to the index.js, and instead of console.logging even or odd, we are going to use this res variable. So res.send, and we need to send a JSON object. I'm going to call it answer, and it has the value of even, and I'm going to do the same thing for the odd. So I'm gonna add in res.send, and instead of even, I'm gonna have an odd. So we are gonna save this index.js, and we are going to run our Node.js in a bit. And now in our front end or React app, we are going to use something called promises. Okay, so what is a promise, or what is a promise object in JavaScript? So let's say, for example, you're doing any sort of computation that is asynchronous. Let's say that means that you're fetching, or you're using any if you want, you're calling something, or you're fetching, you're using Axios, it's something not related only to the React app or the client. You need to wait for it to be done, and then after that, you need to see what is the result of the following instruction, if you want. So that is what promises are. So promises, I'm gonna type in the code right now, and I'm gonna explain what it does. Okay, so you might not understand it from the first time, but of course you are going to get familiar with it throughout the course. Okay, so I'm gonna type in the code and then explain it. So we're getting our response from the server. First, we need to return our response, and then we are going to add in another than, which takes the data, and we need to console.log the data. Okay, so the thing is, we added after the fetch, we added a then, okay, meaning that whenever the fetch is done and we got a response back from the server, whether it was good or bad, I need this response. I first need to return this response as a JSON object, and then I need to take in this response, which is going to be replaced by this data variable right here, and then I need to console.log this response. Okay, so this resp, if you want, variable, I name it whatever I want. I initiated it. You can name it whatever you want. So don't forget, whenever I write in these lambda functions, I initiate these variables. You can name it whatever you want. It's not something strictly, if you want, that we need to use. And that is going to be replaced by the response that we're getting from the server, and then we need to return it, and the response.json is going to be replaced by this data here, and then we are console.logging the data. So let me show you what this does, and then we are going to dig deeper into it. So let me first split my terminal and run my server, Node.js server. So first let me navigate into server, node index.js. So we're running our server. We go back to the React app. Let me first open up inspect element to see what we're console.logging. Okay, so let me set a number of 10. Oops. Okay, and whenever I send, I think we did run everything. We return response.json. I didn't save that. Okay, so let me go back, and let me send a number of 12, and we can see here in the console.log that the 12 is an even number, and we got the response back from the server. Okay, so the thing is that the server sends back a promise object, and I'm gonna show you what promise object is. So let me remove this .then data first, and instead of returning the response.json, I'm gonna console.log this response.json. Okay, so let me save that, go back to the React app, and let me send now 233, and we can see that we have a promise object. And if you press on the arrow and then press on the second arrow when we have where we have an object, we can see that this is our response. Answer is odd. So that's why we had to add in another than data to be able to get only this, if you want answer key and value. And if you want only the value of this answer, you, instead of console.logging data, you can console.log a data.answer, since data is going to be an object. So you can use this dot to specify a specific value of a specific key. And now if you go back and let me try 34, now we can see that we have only even. Okay, and if you want, we can also render this even on our browser. So let's do so. You can pause the video here and try to do it yourself. It shouldn't be hard. So let me first create a constant called, let's say for example, ans, and we need to set ans, it's a use state, so it's a state variable. And then next underneath the button, let's have an h1, and I want render ans. Okay, so here instead of console.logging data.answer, I'm going to set ans to data.answer. Okay, so let me save that, go back to the React app, and let me try it out. Send a 45, you have an odd number. So in this video, we have learned how to have a back and forth conversation between the client and the server. So when we have a response back from the server, we know at least what is happening behind the scenes. So that was it for the video. Don't hesitate to add in your comments on your questions on the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.